Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my series of Star Wars reviews leading up to Mandalorian and Grogu. And today I am talking about Revenge of the Sith starring Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid and Natalie Portman. The plot is, as the Clone Wars nears its end, Obi-Wan Kenobi pursues a new threat while Anakin Skywalker is led by Chancellor Palpatine into a sinister plot for galactic domination. I remember this being my favourite of the prequels as a kid. So I was excited to go back and rewatch it. And this is where the darker stuff started to happen in Star Wars, which is what we all wanted. Because it's rated M. Well, here in Australia it's rated M, but in America it's PG-13. Because before this movie, all the Star Wars movies were PG. We were like, oh my god, some dark stuff's gonna happen in this movie, it's rated M. It's also the longest Star Wars movie to this point. Like, it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes, which the other movies were like under that runtime. So it's interesting. It's probably the most Star Wars feeling movie that we've ever gotten, by all the planets and by all the planets we go on and the different aliens and the different crazy ships and the different type of stuff in the movie itself. This love is probably... I love that this is probably the most action-packed Star Wars movie like ever seen ever. Like, this is the most action out of any of the movies. I like, for instance, the opening battle beginning where you're basically following Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi in their ships and stuff. And also, Obi-Wan throws out the I've got a bad feeling about this from Phantom Menace and stuff. You're like, oh my god. This might be the funniest Star Wars movie too. I like the whole bit where they are trying to get the elevator working and R2 sends them down, but they need to go up in the elevator. That's hilarious to me. And Anakin holding the two lightsabers up to Count Dooku is such a cool image, and it's one of those things where it's like, and he knows that Jedis don't kill people, and he regrets that when he eventually does kill Dooku. But Palpatine is, of course, influencing his choices at the beginning of the movie before they start leading the spiel of him actually leading Anakin to do bad things and stuff. Obi-Wan Kenobi is such a sarcastic person. We didn't mention it in the last review, but when Anakin's like, oh, we've come to save you, Master, and he like looks up and he's like, good job. And even when the ray shields go up, have you got a plan B? When they're calling the ray shield, and also when they land the ship, and he's like, another happy landing. That is such a funny bit. Obi-Wan is hilarious. Sometimes, okay, someone that we need to talk about in this movie is Hayden Christensen, because I gave him some fucking the last one. He is doing his best acting in this movie. And the way that he portrays Anakin in this movie kind of influences the way that he would eventually portray Anakin in both Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Ahsoka series. And I think he has found out how to play Anakin Skywalker in this movie. And I love the way that he plays him in this movie and in his future as Anakin Skywalker. And the scene where Padme tells Anakin that she's pregnant, he's given a great performance where you see him like dealing with all the emotions, kind of like, oh, that's fantastic. You can tell that he's nervous, he's scared, he's happy, he's proud, like everything. You can tell he has everything on his face. And it's amazing. There are moments when the writing is still not great in this movie. Like I'm so in love with you. So love has blinded you? No, it's because I'm so in love with you. Like, that is a bit of a cringy dialogue bit. You're like, what the hell? But, yeah, no, it's good, but it's kind of like, come on, George, you could have tweaked that up just a little bit. It's a little cringe. The other thing that isn't great in this movie is the green screen shots. It's every prequel too. We've mentioned it 3 times already. But when Padme and Anakin are on the balcony and you see the city in the background, you can clearly see that it's not actually behind them, it's being projected. And it's very bizarre. You're like, what? I will say, that scene where Anakin is put on the council, you understand why he's upset. And also, you understand why Obi-Wan Kenobi is conflicted because he didn't want to put Anakin in the position to spy on Palpatine and that type of stuff. It's like, it's not necessarily too much exposition, but it is kind of like you're dealing with all this stuff at once. It's like they're throwing you, here's one situation. Anakin wants to be a master on the council, not just on the council. He also needs to go deal with Palpatine and that type of stuff. And it's like, oh my god, this is really crazy. I love the Darth Plagueis the Wise scene where it's just Anakin and Palpatine talking to each other that at that event, and Palpatine kind of had that feeling that the council are using Anakin to spy on him. Is such an intense and cool scene that we don't really see a lot in Star Wars, especially recently. You can really feel the relationship between both Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it makes you upset because you know where this movie is headed towards, and when that thing eventually happens, you're like, no! Come on! Okay, General Grievous. Let's talk about this goofy bastard. I like him as a villain. Even though he is literally an old robot that coughs constantly, but I do think that he's a fun villain. We get more of him in the Clone Wars series, which we might talk about at some point. I'm not playing it for this series of Star Wars reviews, but we might do a series for the Star Wars shows, maybe. We'll see how we go. He's something where, okay, the lightsabers. He has 4 lightsabers. Has he murdered 4 Jedi to get the 4 lightsabers? Because otherwise, we don't really know how he got them because, like, they never mentioned that. And it's weird. It's like, how do you have 4 lightsabers? When clearly, a robot like you is not meant to have lightsabers. You've obviously murdered 4 Jedi or something, or they've spare lightsabers that were the ones that Anakin has dropped in the past and stuff. It's very weird. Okay, since when did Palpatine have a lightsaber? I feel like that came out of nowhere. And there wasn't any scene of him in the previous movies of him with a lightsaber. I feel like that is just a bit strange to throw in there. It's weird to me. The fact that the lightning reflecting off the lightsaber is the reason why Palpatine has that wrinkly face. That we all know him for is just so cool, and the reason for that is another cool reason. It's just crazy to me how cool it is. And when the Order 66 scene happens, we know that we're going to get some dark shit happening. And Anakin pulls out his lightsaber in front of the young children. And it's like, Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? And he goes, and you're like, fuck! Like, oh my god! This is crazy to me! And when Anakin has the robe and turns around with his yellow eyes directly into the camera, it's very creepy and very evil looking. You're like, oh, I kind of dig this a little. I forget that Chewbacca is in this movie when Yoda goes to the Wookiee planet and the one carrying him around is Chewie. Like, as soon as we went to the Wookiee planet, I was like, no, don't do a Star Wars holiday special on us, please. We try and forget about that, please don't. It's very, very weird. When we get to the final battle, and Padme and Anakin, that moment with each other, Padme wants to be with Anakin, but he talks about how he's more powerful than the Chancellor and he can bring balance to the Republic and stuff like that. You can see how much Anakin has fallen. And I got to shout out Hayden because in this scene, he does a fantastic job in this scene. And he sells how lost he is and how evil he's gone in this movie. I love the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I honestly think that it's the best lightsaber duel in any of the Star Wars movies, like up there with like the Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight from Phantom Menace. Like, there are ridiculous bits in it, like when they're just standing around and they're swinging lightsabers for like a good 2 minutes, just so one of them can take a shot, but they're both spinning. Like, that's a little ridiculous to me, but and like the bit where they're swinging like Tarzan and stuff like that, that is a bit silly, but it's one of those things where you're like, it's just Star Wars. Like, come on, like, what do you expect from this? And of course, the fight between Yoda and Palpatine is sick as well. Seeing Yoda flip around with a lightsaber, it's silly, but it's part of the coolness. Like, you're like, oh my god, seeing Yoda flip around is kind of bonkers. And it's also really painful seeing the death of Padme and the birth of Darth Vader back to back in the way that they cut it. It's ridiculous. It's so hard to watch. It's crazy. And Obi-Wan was going to Tatooine to watch over Luke, which is the reason why in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show why it doesn't break canon, because he actually goes to Tatooine, and Yoda actually mentions that he has training with Qui-Gon. He hasn't done that yet because he's detached himself from the Force, and that has happened, and we actually don't see him with Qui-Gon until the finale of the Obi-Wan show. I'm going to give Revenge of the Sith 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is easily the best prequel. George Lucas has done a great job with this movie, and the one that you can tell he really wanted to make. You can feel that in this movie. And you knew that this was the missing piece of the original trilogy. So guys, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe, press the little bell icon to get notified for future videos that I make. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon.